Welcome to the beginning of my introductory tutorial series on Phasmophobia. You may have heard of this game before. It came out, I believe, in September 2020 by the independent game studio Kinetic Games, which I think started only with 1, 2, or 3 developers, but has since expanded. The game caught on fire the next month, and it was considered the perfect Halloween game for that October, and that's when I got into it. It's still a game that's basically set the standard for ghost investigation games and indie survival horror, and there's been countless knockoffs and similar games since then. While the game isn't one of the top indie games anymore necessarily, it's still very popular and it's played by millions of people. You basically assume the role of a paranormal investigator and an employee of Ghost Hunting Distribution Incorporated. They finally give a name to the company, and it's either you or up to 3 other investigators for a total of a team of 4 people to investigate a location, determine what type of ghost you are facing, of which there are currently 24 ghost types. Originally, there were only 12, but it's been expanded over the years, where each ghost has a unique set of 3 different evidence to identify it. In addition, there's some optional objectives that you may be able to achieve depending on your equipment loadout. But the ghosts can also enter what's known as a hunting phase, where it can kill players and thus ending and failing your investigation. A successful investigation gives you experience and higher levels, which I will get into later, as well as money that will allow you to purchase additional equipment. You don't have to purchase all of the equipment, as there's a set of items known as the starting items that allow you to collect the evidence to determine the ghost type. And that's often just the first thing you may do in your early games. This tutorial series will go over the equipment, the basic mechanics, and probably at least one game on each of the small maps, which are in house locations. So let's get started. You spawn into what's known as the garage. This is the second garage. The earlier one, when the game released, was much smaller. You have a main menu, which is on a bulletin board. Gives you single-player, multiplayer, training, options, credits, and quit. It also gives you daily tasks and weekly tasks that can be achieved in addition to your usual objectives for additional amounts of money. The weekly tasks also include a special challenge mode where you're given the equipment for free, and if you can complete it, you get a lot of experience and money. As of the current new version of Phasmophobia, every point of experience is also $1, so it's now the same amount. Each level requires more and more experience to gain the next level. You'll notice in this video I'm at Prestige level 1, which I'll get into in a later video, and I'm level 17. You may assume that means I'm a new player. My previous level was 1214, I believe. So I've got special badges and other stuff. And if I play multiplayer, there's a special badge on my shoulder, which I decided the details on, the color and so forth, that will indicate that I had a significant level. Actually, it'll list the exact level. So if you play a multiplayer game and you see that, you'll know the level there was before it reset. However, with this last major update that happened yesterday, as of this filming, everybody was reset and a lot of the game has changed. So guides and such may vary, although a lot of stuff from previous versions still applies. So I'm not going to I showed the store screen. I'm going to cover that in a later video. For now, I'm just going to remove all the items that aren't the startup item. Oops. Unfortunately, there's not a button just to remove all. They really should add that. Remove the rest of that stuff. So, but yeah, if you hit escape on a keyboard, it'll X out. You can walk around the garage. Here's the store, the equipment store, and it shows you examples of all the items you can get in game. Well, except those briefcases. You can take a look. The garage is a good place to test out your sound, your video. These are the trophy cases over there. When you start collecting cursed possessions, which I'll get into later, they'll appear there. You can also get trophy. I currently just have one. The other things, you can see your daily and weekly tasks over here. There is a boombox. This lets you figure out your positional audio, because it's very important that you can hear stuff from the left, right, back, and forward. This board over here shows the last batch of photos you took at an investigation as examples. Up the stairs here, there's some games, just to kind of learn how to play with picking up items. You pick up items with E, you drop them with G, on a keyboard, that is. And this just lets you experience the physics of the game and get a feeling for how everything is. Some of these items have been in the basketball's been in the game for a while, actually. Okay, so once you've done playing with that and getting used to everything, I recommend staying in the garage a while, just kind of getting a feel. If you're getting your legs, stuttering, whatever. You can pick up this UV light, look at stuff you want. It's not important to the game, it's basically just Easter eggs. So, dropping all of that. Now, going back to the main menu, there's the training, which I'll cover in another video. There's a single player, which most of my tutorials will be with single player, multiplayer options. I recommend, now that they've redone training, to go through the training, which is what we're going to do initially here. Don't worry about any of the rest. So I'm going to do training. This is now actually useful, although I think it could still be improved.
Welcome to your first day at Ghost Hunting Distribution. Read the whiteboard to get started.
Okay, so this is the whiteboard and the colors. It's going to show you controls. I don't know if these change if you have a controller plugged in, but it gives you all the basic controls. Interacting with the mouse, and interact and use, grab, place, or secondary use for F, drop. Cycle through the items. This can be better than using the scroll wheel on the mouse. Certain things use a T to turn on and off, like the flashlight. Journal gives you all this information here. You got the home screen, items, basically gives you all the basic information. Alright, so this talks about payments in pretty good detail. Cursed possessions, which we'll get to in a later video. A review. You always have this overview set up in an investigation, but this information's filled in. Photos, which we'll get to a later video. The different types of evidence, and then how they relate to one of the 24 types of ghosts. So, EMF 5, ultraviolet, and ghost writing would give you a myelin, for example. And then information on each of the 24 ghost types. Telling the evidence, the strength, and the weakness, although some of this text can be misleading and some is flavor text. But we'll get into that also in a later video. The pause menu, which you always have the options. I'm not sure if you actually have to restart the game to change things. Crossplay, which it's coming out on the console. So this is for the future. You can do your text and your voice in a number of different languages here that you can change on the fly. Really not sure the number of them, but it's quite a bit. You'll probably know at least one of the languages on the list. Oh, I guess you can't. You gotta go cycle back. And since Kinetic Games is out of England and English, this will be best set for those who speak English. The voice is voice recognition. I think, if I'm not mistaken. There's several voice recognition. If for some reason you don't like speaking, or you can't speak, or whatever, there is a text mode that allows you to just select things, or to turn everything completely off. And then there's VOSC and Windows. Windows is the old voice recognition. If you're having a problem with VOSC, then try Windows, or vice versa. Mouse sensitivity, all that, cursor brightness. Actually, I'm going to set that to setting this thing is a pain. Field of vision. I've never played with this, but I've seen some people play with a much larger field of vision. Head bob you can turn off. You can make toggle sprint mode, either toggle or hold. You can go with Celsius or Fahrenheit. I advise kind of learning both scales so that you're not confused, but it's entirely up to you. You got video options. Anti-aliasing right now is giving some people problems, so you might want to mess around with this. If you're running into problems, just go on through down a list. The requirements for this game in terms of your computer hardware aren't too bad, and you at the lowest settings you could probably run this on just about anything. So, and then you got your audio. You can set your microphone. You've got different options for voice inputs, so voice activation, for example. It's not showing anything right now for some reason. I'm not sure why. Let me see. Oh, weird. But yeah, then controls. You can change all the major controls, and you get an idea of what is the push to talk stuff. Unless it's set to a toggle, if you do voice activation, your voice is always going to be on for local. If you turn it to a toggle, you'll have to hold down press the V key, which can be either toggle or a hold down. And global push to talk is a global radio. So, all right, going through all that. There's also who you played with recently. And add that person. You can report them in a multiplayer game, whatever, players that are blocked. Statistics. Apparently this did not reset with the recent patch, but you can tell from this I've played the game a while here, so. Or at least since they started tracking statistics, they weren't always tracking it. And then again, you have the journal in the end, all that information. So going back here, you can hold 3 items. If you are playing on VR, the flashlight can be put on your belt, and you can also carry 3 additional. Most of my tutorials, I don't have a VR headset. That's some new fangled thing for you kids, so I don't have one. So it's going to be from the perspective of being on PC with a keyboard and mouse and playing this game through Steam. So you see you see the truck here, what it's going to be like. The setup clock here, which you're going to see when I get into an actual live game. This will count down from 5 minutes. And then computer monitor and your various equipment. It's just showing flashlight right now to keep it simple. This is the tier 1 flashlight, also known as a weak flashlight. You got 4 monitors in the truck, but we'll get into more of this when I get into a live game. The actual training session is not indicative of an actual game. It just introduces you to mechanics. So we go down here. We get to our first whiteboard. Ghost room. You're looking for the ghost has a favorite room that it picks. This is and this is where you gather the majority of your evidence from. Looking for the ghost room. The ghost is more likely to do things in its room. On higher difficulty, you can actually change its room, but for this tutorial series, I'm always going to be playing on amateur. And then just to get an idea. Of course, it tells you all this information here, which is nice. So now you get to a door. Okay, oh, there we go. Holding down the mouse and you can swing the door. It doesn't just open or close. You can do it in stages, and there's reasons why you might do that. So we come into the next room. This is room 1. Oh, we hear a sound. Did it move something? Room 2.
Head through the door to the next section.
Okay. Room 3. Oh, see, it threw a coffee cup down. So, yeah, you look for weird little things in a room. Oh, see, just threw that. The ghost is interacting with its environment. So, okay. Oh, now we're going to go into sanity. It's the one statistic that players have in this game. It is your health, and it directly affects how you interact with the ghost in the game. A number of things. So, yeah, basically being in the dark lowers your sanity. Even in a room that's somewhat lit, it's not necessarily going to be 100% a drain reduction anymore. And then certain ghost events and abilities may also lower your sanity. There's an optional item that will also raise your sanity, but it's not part of the starting items. sure why they put it here, but you drink it, and it, over time, restores your sanity.
Good job.
So, when the ghost can hunt and potentially kill you is often directly related to your sanity, although there are exceptions to that. We'll go over in later videos. So next we've got the idea of lighting. You see the light right here. The more lit up you are, the less your sanity is going to just naturally drain. However, being in kind of a darkened corner of a lit room may also, it won't necessarily completely remove that drain. It's known as a passive sanity drain. It will just reduce that drain rate closer you're on a light. Now, every location has a fuse box. This is the fuse box that's in most of the locations. You turn it off. There's no power to the lights and doors or anything. You turn it on. There you go. However, if you turn on too many lights on a location, or technically the ghost could too, the fuse box will trip and everything will go out. In this example, they got one light lit. Okay. Well, then we've got some other test lights. 2? Oh, that's being fine.
Well done.
3? It trips. And you have to go all the way back over here, turn it on. So now we've got our first bit of evidence, electrical magnetic fields. Electronic devices give off this naturally, so there's plenty of non-paranormal reasons to use these devices, but it became part of ghost lore, I don't know how long ago, probably back to Thomas Edison or before that, that ghosts can disrupt or create electromagnetic fields. So here's the Tier 1 EMF reader. I'm going to grab it off the table here. This is an old-fashioned kind of meter analog. It has basically a needle that goes to about 1, beyond 5. If you basically find it going beyond 5, that's EMF 5, which is one of the evidences. So we're going to go into the next room, see if we get some EMF. Oh.
Nice work.
I have to turn it on. See? It's going up to about a 3. Ghost interactions like this, like turning on the lights and stuff, will be a 2 or a 3 normally. However, if the ghost has EMF 5, it could automatically promote itself to a 5. See? And then just keep... This thing can also be active when it's dropped, so you could hear... Don't mind that it's sort of hitting 4, it's actually a 3. If it goes beyond 4, then it's a 4. If it goes beyond 5, it's a 5. It's supposed to be imprecise, because it's a Tier 1 item. Okay, see? So, alright, well, let's drop that and go to the next thing. Ultraviolet evidence. This used to be called fingerprints, but now it's called ultraviolet. If you apply an ultraviolet light to surfaces that the ghost has touched, and it provides ultraviolet evidence, or if you've placed salt and it walks to the salt, which I'm going to talk about in a later video. Basically, if you see a ultraviolet anything, handprint, fingerprint, footstep, then it's giving ultraviolet evidence. Tier 1 item is basically a glow stick. So you'll see, these are handprints here. The regular old handprints. You'll see these on doors or other locations where the ghost is touched. Sometimes there's weird little messages too, but they don't mean anything. Or if they don't mean anything now, they may change. See, different prints. Oh, and this would be a typical one on the door.
Well
usually... So, and then here is examples of footsteps. We won't be seeing these until we get into salt in a later video, so don't worry about those for now. Next, we have freezing temperatures. In a location, the ghost's presence will automatically drop the temperature in the room significantly. If that temperature goes below 0 Celsius or 32 Fahrenheit, usually by a little bit of a margin, it won't just be by a hair, then that's often the case that the ghost has freezing evidence in its room. However, if it goes as low as about 10 degrees Celsius, which is like 41 to 50 Fahrenheit, you'll still see your breath because it's getting cold, but that no longer means freezing temperatures. So we got that going. Now, if you're wondering, rooms naturally have a minimum and a maximum ambient temperature of how hot and cold they can get naturally. That is affected by the breaker because the breaker controls an unseen heater in the location. If the longer the breaker's on, it'll reach certain temperatures. If it's off, the temperatures will start to drop between that minimum and maximum. What the ghost does to the temperature may overlap sort of with the minimum temperature. Now on amateur, the breaker's always going to start on, and all the rooms except for the ghost room will be around their maximum ambient temperature. There is wiggle room there. It's a range. It's not a precise number anymore. So we're going to look into the rooms. Watch this lower. This is just a mercury thermometer, so it takes a minute, but at least you get an idea of something being colder or warmer or whatever. See kind of where it settles or if it keeps going. If it's a ghost room, it's going to be at least in the 40s Fahrenheit, or at least in the below 10 Celsius. See, the temperature keeps dropping. This could be the ghost room. This could be the ghost room. Once it gets under 10 Celsius or 50 Fahrenheit, you might start to see your breath. Or I think maybe it's more around 5 Celsius, 41 Fahrenheit. You keep watching that temperature go down. Okay, so this is definitely the ghost room because of how far it's going. Now, the question is, will it keep going and go under freezing?
Move to the next room.
Yep. So this is definitely freezing evidence, and this is definitely the ghost room. Now, the next room, the ghost does not, so that's going to be going up. You don't really have to wait for it to settle in a lot of cases. You just have to see if it's going up or down. Okay, so we did for the first room was ghost room, and it was freezing. Okay, next we've got the dots projector, which at the moment the tier 1 is a little like a laser pointer pen. It can be a bit of a pain in the butt to use. If you project the dots and you see an image, then it gives dots. That image could be very faint and kind of move quickly too, so it's hard to necessarily see. Here's an example. It's not going to look like a person with a sheet over their head, and it's going to move. This is just to give you an idea of what it roughly looks like. So if you see something like this, then it's got dots. Not every ghost leaves dots, though. Here are the various examples right in front of the board. Says it'll walk towards the player, revealing, but these aren't doing that. I think they should actually change that, but that's beside the point. So that's what dots evidence would look like. We got the next rooms. Okay, next is ghost orbs. If you watch any Phasmophobia videos, they'll often joke about the person who just sits in the truck for ghost orbs. Well, here is the video camera. This is the tier 1 one. When the video camera is activated, a person can be in the truck in safety and look through the ghost monitors that are out there, which could be cameras already on the location, cameras you bring in, or head-mounted cameras. And you click a button and you get night vision. Sometimes ghost orbs aren't readily apparent, and they're not going to see perfectly all the time. Yeah, you'll see it right there, kind of in the upper left. It's a little faint, like dust mote, and it usually moves in a kind of an unnatural way, so you can't. If you keep that at track, you won't mistake it for snow or rain. And it comes and goes, too. You can have a camera on for several minutes and not see. There's the orb again, right there. So, if you see that, it's ghost orbs. Although there is one exception I'll get into later. Because one of the ghosts, the mimic, gives false evidence. So, it gives like 4 evidence. Okay. Wait a minute. You often have to turn off the lights to see that stuff. Oh, let me grab another ghost camera. Okay, we did see orbs, so you have to mark it down. So, ghost orb. See, right there.
Nice work.
Alright. Next, we have ghostwriting. You put down a ghostwriting book or a journal, and the ghost may interact with it and write in it. It still might interact with it, like throw it if it doesn't give writing, but if it actually touches it to throw it, it will also write. So, let's pick up some journals. Let's put some down. It won't write when it's in your hand. They actually have to put it down.
Well done.
There you go. There's one writing it down right there. What it writes down doesn't mean anything in the game. It's completely flavor. So, there's an example of that. And then next we got the spirit box. You can talk to the ghost, sort of. The tier 1 spirit box is just a handheld radio. And if it happens to send a radio signal through, like you hear human voices, then it's working for tier 1. It only understands certain questions. It won't respond to certain questions. Like you can say, where are you? Are you angry? Are you close? Are you near? There's a good chunk of questions it'll respond to. You don't really care what the answer is. You just care that it responds to it. And the room also has to be dark for you to... Where are you? How old are you? Why are you angry? Where are you? How old are you? Why are you angry? Where... You're not going to be able to get it in the... when the room is lit like this. You have to go into it. The room has to be dark. Where are you? How old are you? Why are you angry? How close are you? How far are you? How near are you? Where are you? How old are you? Why are you angry? Oh. Where are you? How old are you? Why are you angry? Where are you? How old are you? Why are you angry? Where are you? How old are you? Why are you angry? Where are you? How old are you? Why are you angry? Are you near? Are you far? If you get that red dot, then it understands the question and whether or not it's responding. Where are you? How old are you? Why are you angry? Where are you? How old are you? Why are you angry? Where are you? How old are you? Where are you? How old are you? Why are you angry? Getting this thing to work can be a bit of a pain in the butt sometimes. Where are you? How old are you? Why are you angry? Where are you? How old are you? Why are you angry? Where are you? How old are you? Oh. Where are you? How old are you? Why are you angry? Where are you? There we go. Where are you? How old are you? See?
Good job.
It's flash white. And I had to turn the lights off. It's the key thing. Alright, so next we've got hunts. So yeah, when a ghost hunts, it finds a player, it touches them, it kills them. If there's only one player, that just failed the investigation. You lose on higher difficulties. You'll lose all the items that you brought in that aren't the starter items. However, on some difficulties like amateur, you'll get money back, insurance basically, for 50% of the value on amateur. Most ghosts, I think 14 out of 24, will only hunt when you go below 50% of your sanity. So one of the key things to stop a hunt is just to keep your sanity above that. There are exceptions to that. 10 of those ghosts act in a different way and may hunt earlier or later than that. So yeah, basically, you get a ghost. So give you a very vague idea what a ghost hunt is.
Something's not quite right. You better hide. Quickly. That was a close one. Congratulations on completing your training. You can exit through the truck by interacting with the keypad.
So basically, that was a very quick hunt, just a few seconds. I could have hid behind this stuff, I could have hid in the locker. The idea is to break line of sight with the ghost. It'll search around looking for you. If it gets an idea of where you are, it'll keep searching that area. It can open lockers and stuff, so even hiding, you still have a chance of dying.
Something's not quite right. You better hide. Quickly. That was a close one. Congratulations on completing your training. You can exit through the truck by interacting with the keypad.
Okay, so... So, assuming you were done with the investigation, you'd go back in the truck, hit the keypad, and then it ends the investigation. In multiplayer, all the alive players have to be in the truck to do that. You can't accidentally leave someone behind. Alright, so that's a basic first look at Phasmophobia and training. There'll be more videos to follow. Have a good one.